Now, we often have summits and discussions about what should be done and what can be done, but you've actually come up with a solution to some of the problems that people in the impoverished parts of our country face when it comes to water scarcity. I mean, they often have to draw water from wells or even from rivers. And just tell us a bit about your invention and what it does.
Okay, just a disclaimer, it's not my invention. It's invented somewhere in the country, somewhere in the USA, with the internal filter being made in Japan. Our company just distributes the products in South Africa, and basically what it does is that it cleans water, so it will remove all the dirt particles in the water, as well as all the biological contaminants in water, from your cholera, typhoid, E. coli, salmonella, each and every contaminant, biological contaminant that is in water would actually be sifted out. So it makes water clean and safe to drink, and particularly important for women in the rural areas because they bear the burden of having to make sure that their families have clean water, children have clean water to bath, and also babies have clean water for their formulas to be made with. Now with COVID-19, there is a big thing about us having to wash our hands, but in communities where there isn't availability of clean hands, how do you honestly expect them to do that? So such technologies actually allow and enable communities to be able to do that with ease, cook their food, drink water well, and it also reduces the sicknesses, that people in water poor communities are facing. So improving productivity, improving ability of children to go to school, reducing infant mortality.
And how many liters are currently in the bucket that's got the dirty water in it?
It's about 20 liters of water, and as you can see, the rate at which it flows, it'll flow at a rate of about 1 liter every 2 minutes, which is very fast.
That is actually quite quick, and I think the viewers will be able to see the camera just panning there, showing them the clean water that's emerging from that pipe, and versus the dirty water, the dirty murky water that's inside this bucket currently. Just thinking about the technology that's gone into it, you've mentioned that there's a filter, I can see that there's 2 buckets involved. Is it an expensive solution to implement, especially because it's needed by poor people?
It's very affordable. It's long-lasting. Long-lasting in that it's a once-off purchase. Once a family has a unit, they can use it for as long as 5 years. So with the only maintenance that is required being to wash it and to keep it clean. That's all. There's no other components that have to be replaced. In most other filters you find that there are cartridges that has to be bought or solutions that have to be poured in. With ours, it's specifically made for people in disadvantaged and rural communities who do not have access to be replenishing or rebuying new components all the time. So it is long-lasting in that way. Additionally, it is versatile. Much as currently it's connected to a bucket, it can also be connected to a tap, as I have a little demonstration unit there.
You can hold it up and then the viewers will be able to see this. If you can turn it sideways as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically you can connect it to any garden tap. So be it a borehole tap, because a lot of people think that while I'm drinking, I have a borehole, my water is good enough to drink. But you do not know what comes out of the water. So when you connect it to your borehole tap or your JoJo tank tap, you are then sure and secure, that the water that your family is drinking is actually very safe for them. And
just speaking about tanks, rather, you've mentioned JoJo tanks, but some people who live in rural environments actually still use those traditional metal tanks to collect rainwater, and they drink directly from that tank. So one could be able to attach a filter like that and be able to purify some of the impurities that actually get caught in that rainwater.
That's correct. That's correct, because rainwater is actually harvested from the roof and from the gutters, and a lot happens in the roof from birds dying and bird poo and so on that ultimately lands in your water. So this solution actually makes sure that while you have your water, but to make sure that it's clean for you, it's safe for you and your family to use. This is a device that we can use. And
And how has this innovation been accepted by people in the rural areas? You've mentioned that a lot of women would need to be able to provide clean water for cooking, for cleaning and bathing their children.
Very positively to the communities that we've been to, noting that the technology is still quite new, particularly in the country. So we are on a drive on public education, also getting organizations to sponsor needy communities through their CSI municipalities to be able to sponsor needy communities. Of course, families who are able to buy it for themselves do buy it for themselves as well as people who go camping, and additionally for disaster relief situations. When there's a disaster, either because of the weather, we recently had a cyclone going through a lot of our communities and destroying available infrastructure. This can be a solution, to provide fast, quick relief to communities while the water is being restored.
Well, hopefully government will pick up on that and incorporate it into their disaster management solutions. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. That was Ninky